Hey everybody, Jesse Benedetti with JB Hit, coming back at you again. Happy New Year. Hope everything's going well. But we're going to talk a little bit about today, about the new year and about what you've been doing and what you've been getting into. So remember last year we talked about how you were going to help me get more involved in the social media, get more involved in YouTube and more involved in everybody else. As much as possible. And in return, I'm going to try to help you get things that you want, not just fitness goals, but we're going to see how fitness goals relate to everything else in your life. So we're back at it again. It's been about 3 weeks into the new year. So we were picking up where we left off last year. At the end of the year, a lot of people were thinking that this new year, January 1st, January 4th, that Monday, that first Monday, things were going to change. We were going to be out of 2020. 2020 wasn't going to be there anymore. And all of a sudden, new opportunities were going to open up, like just magically. And then as soon as 2021 hit, we realized a week into it, nothing changed because we didn't change. If we don't change, nothing else is going to change. A new year, the calendar, the date, the time, none of that changes unless we take some responsibility and change it upon ourselves. So that was the first thing. Then we had this whole big thing about the inauguration and how things are gonna get better with the new presidency, and everything was gonna change then. And then that's happened, and not much has changed again, just because we haven't changed or you haven't changed. We have to realize eventually that we can't keep waiting for something to happen. If we're going to keep waiting for something to happen, then all you're going to do is keep waiting for something to happen. You have to change something internally. You have to change something in your mindset. You have to change something physically, even if it's the smallest thing in the world. So for a lot of people, 2020 was not a very good year. The pandemic happened, people lost their jobs, people dying. A lot of bad things happened in 2020, and we thought that 2021 would be a whole new way of opening up our lives. Now, personally for myself, 2020 was a good year. It was actually a year that helped me kind of push me into the direction I am now, with having my online fitness, with making sure that I'm in a better place mentally, physically, emotionally than I have been before. It did benefit some people, the people that actually took some kind of initiative. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a better person than anybody else because I took initiative, but it kind of pushed me. I was very complacent. I was procrastinating a lot. I was living in New York City. I'd lived there for 9 years, and for the past couple of years, I'd just kind of grown tired of it. It wasn't a good life for me at the last couple of years. I enjoyed my time there. It was a great time, but it just wears you down. And it's not because I felt like I wasn't tough enough. It doesn't feel like any of that stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot to go on. If you're not wanting to be there for a specific reason. So there was no real ties that were keeping me there, but I was just staying there because it was easy. I didn't want to pick up and go. I didn't really have a specific place to go. And then the pandemic hit. And then I realized a few months into the pandemic, when we were all just being trapped inside, that this is not where I'm happy. So I had heard a lot of good stuff about Stanford, Connecticut, so I went and checked it out. And immediately, whether it was just because I was getting out of New York or because Stanford is good or a combination of both, that's where I ended up. I said, I'll try it out for a year and then I'll go from there. And so far, I've been here for about 6 months, and it's been great. Mostly because I've been able to help a lot of people in the fitness world, virtually, to see that you can get the exact same stuff, if not better, online fitness in the comfort of your own home or wherever you are. I've had people take me on the road with them. They've gone to Mexico, they've gone to Maine, New Hampshire, Colorado, California, Spain, people in England. It's all over because the virtual is there, and you realize that your fitness is up to you, and you realize that it's only as good as you make it. Now, I can help you. I can construct all of the programming, and I can help you get through it, and I can motivate you, but in the end, it's you. So that's why 2020 was kind of on hold for a lot of people, because they were waiting and waiting, and they didn't take that accountability. So 2021 hit, And I decided that I'm going to run a challenge for everybody that wanted to take a part challenge, an accountability challenge for 2021 in my online virtual workouts. So I limited it to 10 people. 10 people are joined to do this challenge. And it's a body transformation challenge, anywhere between 8 to 12 weeks. They have to try to transform their body to try to get them to the best possible physical shape they can get in with a little bit of added motivation. Now, I'm a big person about leading by example. So if I'm going to put something out there this big, then I wanted to also do it. So I took advantage of it also, and I'm in this challenge. So it's been 3 weeks, and it's not been the most productive 3 weeks. It's been really hard, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Is about when you go for a goal and you go for a challenge. If you have the mindset that it's going to be a straight line from beginning to end without any hurdles or obstacles or adversities, then we're fooling ourselves. You're fooling yourself, and you're setting yourselves up for basic disappointment, failure, and discouragement. So you have to understand going into this, you have to learn that there are going to be a lot of adversity. There's a lot of obstacles. So let me share my path with you. I started this January 4th with the rest of my team in the JB Hit. We pulled together. We're ready. We're excited. Everything's coming out. Everything's good. First week comes by. It's looking good. It's feeling nice and strong. And then towards the end of that first week, going into the second week, I found out that my dad died. So that already is a huge brick being thrown into my progress that I'm not trying to make. And a lot of things happen at that time. Now, it's not easy for anybody to have a loved one die, and it's not easy for anybody to continue going on with a goal at that time. It's the easiest thing in the world to make an excuse because there's nobody that would blame you. It would be easy just to say that it's not time. I'll pick up in a couple of weeks. Let me grieve a little bit. Let me go on, and that seems normal. It seems traditional. But that's not me, at least. It's not me, because I set forth and I set a goal. So there's nothing I could have done. I can grieve in my own way. I can sit there and be upset, and I can cry. I can be upset about what's going on, and life is not fair. I can do all of that stuff, but that doesn't have to take me off the track of my goal. It doesn't have to take me off the path of where I want to go. We're going to have setbacks. Everybody's going to have a setback. That's part of it. Now, I had the option that the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to go have a drink. I wanted to have a drink, and I wanted to drown my sorrow. But I also thought a little bit more clearly that that's not going to help. If anything, it's going to make it worse, because the drinking is going to lead to eating. The eating is going to lead to just not caring anymore. And that's not a very good example for me to lead by. So that was number one. So I kind of picked myself up a little bit. I had some support from everybody, all of my members, the very, very supportive of everybody. Some of you even saw my posts that were out there. That was number one. 6 days later, not even a week, not even full 7 days, 6 days later, I went to the doctor, and I was diagnosed with bladder cancer. So if it wasn't hard enough to have one adversity, then how about two, and two big adversities? And it's not easy. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory about myself and this bladder cancer, so you kind of understand where I'm coming from. In 2012, I was diagnosed for the first time with bladder cancer. They gave me some treatment, and it came back more aggressively. They gave me some treatment again, and it came back even more aggressively. And then I was put into a clinical trial, and that treatment actually did well. It did really well. And I was able to use that and a sister drug of that, and it stayed gone from 2013 until 2019. I was having regular treatments, and I was having regular checkups to make sure, because my doctor had told me that bladder cancer itself is very aggressive, and it's not a matter of if it's going to come back, it's when it's going to come back. And I happen to have bladder cancer, for somebody, if you're not sure, for somebody at my age at 32 when I had it, is extremely rare, like a 1 in a 10 million chance of getting it. So, of course, my odds aren't usually that good in, say, the lottery, but for stuff like this, apparently I have better odds of doing it. There's nothing that caused it. It's just bad luck. Not a smoker, don't live around toxic sewage plants or anything like that, things that usually happen. And it's usually a cancer that affects people in their 60s, 70s, and even more in women. So I do not fit in any of the categories. It was just bad luck. So for 8 years, I was getting treatments pretty aggressively up until about 2016. Then we kind of let it settle. 2016, 2017, let it settle, and just kept on getting looks inside the bladder. Now, for just to give you a little bit of an info, so in case you're curious about the bladder and bladder cancer, from my point of view and what I've experienced, my perspective is everything that's happened. If you want to understand a little bit about what it takes to get treatment for bladder cancer, when you go and you get treatment for bladder cancer, it's not the same type of radiation because your bladder is a very protective shell. So it's not radiation, so you won't see me lose my hair. And the chemotherapy actually gets injected directly into the bladder. How do they do that? Good question. They catheterize me by putting a tube inside of my urethra, which is the pee hole, and goes up into the bladder. They release the chemotherapy into the chemotherapy drug, chemical into the bladder, and it stays in there, kind of goes around for a couple of hours, and then I pee it out, different colors and stuff like that. That was happening for a few years, but they were also still checking to see that it didn't come back. And then eventually, 2016, 2017, they thought that it would give my bladder a little bit of a break because that's a lot of chemotherapy to be putting into my bladder over and over again. So, and maybe just give the pee hole a break, putting that up in there over and over again. So from 2016, 17, they were just looking inside. They take a cystoscope, which is just like a little camera, and again, inside the pee hole up into the bladder, which is an interesting thing if you're interested in that. You can actually see on a TV the whole little path. It's like a little bit of an adventure up inside that hole and then to the bladder. You can see the inside of the bladder. It's very interesting if you're curious to see about all that stuff. But that's what it takes. That's what it was happening every 3 months. Then every 6 months, I was trying to get that up until 2019. December was the last time I had that check, and I was supposed to come back in March of 2020. Well, obviously, we know what happened. The pandemic hit, and getting checked was not a priority at the hospital. So, kind of just hung out, didn't really think about it, hadn't seen it in a few years. I figured it was okay, everything's good, nothing really mattered. Then I moved. So, of course, then I had to go to a whole new doctor, I had to get a whole new oncologist, a whole new urologist, a whole new everything. So now I'm in Stanford. Finally got my urologist. It's time to get another checkup. Went and met my doctor. Super nice guy. And then we scheduled the first look inside the bladder. So it's interesting because again, going up in the pee hole, looking. It's see the bladder wall. You've seen it over and over again, and it's almost kind of like a horror movie because you turn the camera around and boom, right there. So it's like a monster right behind you. There's the cancer, and it's a small little 1 millimeter line on that centimeter line on the cancer on the bladder wall, but you can see it. And it's just like a shot, like a punch in the face. So it's the fourth time that it's come back now. So it's a little bit more problematic because now I've got to make some decisions of what's going to happen. And in a couple of weeks, February 4th, I'm getting this tumor taken out. And then I'll have to make some decisions on what to do as far as my bladder is concerned. So that's just been a lot that's happening in the first 3 weeks, of 2021. So I know a lot of people were hoping for the better of 2021 and all of this stuff. But for me, it's been nothing but adversity after adversity. Now, for the average person, that would be the end of that challenge, the end of whatever work that you're trying to go towards, anything like that. But I'm telling you right now, I'm more dedicated and more determined now than ever. I'm optimistic, beyond optimistic. I've asked all the people that are close to me not to give me their well wishes, not to give me their thoughts and their prayers, not to give me any of that stuff. I'm not dwelling on this. This is an opportunity to make something better, because whatever I achieve from this is going to be even more special and even more spectacular. So why am I saying all of this stuff to you if I don't want any well wishes or sympathy or anything like that? Because I'm showing you that you're not alone. You're not alone on your journey, just like I'm not alone on my journey. Whether you want to follow what I do and see what I'm doing, the whole point of all of this is that I want you to see that things happen to everybody, regardless. Things happen to good people, things happen to bad people. Some things don't happen to bad people, and some things don't happen to good people. It's just life is life. And you have the opportunity to either make things better or let them be the way they are and hope for the best. I'm not one to sit around. I get very antsy. I've always had jobs and professions and careers ever since I was 18 years old, when I was a professional dancer for 15 plus years, into fitness, where I've been moving. And I want you to keep moving. So I tie it into fitness because fitness literally can change you from the inside out. If you move 30 minutes a day, 45 minutes a day, everything inside of your brain changes. The hope changes. Your motivation changes. Is it hard? Absolutely. Is it challenging? Without a doubt. But if you don't do it, then what else is there? You can sit around and wait, and you can wait, and you can wait. And I've had people tell me, well, I'm going to wait till the end of football season, or I'm going to wait till the new year, or I'm going to wait till next week, or I failed this week, so I'll start again. And that's like on a Wednesday. You don't have to go from 0 to 100. You don't have to go from one end of the spectrum to the other. It's just trying a little bit every single day. And that's all that matters. And you'll find out that you are stronger than you think that you are, and you can achieve more than you think that you can. I've been through a lot of trauma in my life, and I've been through a lot of adversity, not just the past couple of weeks, but in my entire life. Now, you all have. It's relative to you and what you've gone through in your life. But all I can tell you is you can get through this. And I use fitness as my vehicle, as my coping mechanism, as everything, because that is actually going to make me feel better. It's not just going to make me feel accomplished and confident and all of those other things, but it will change the chemical outlook and the chemical settings inside of my head, inside of my body, and it will give me the best fighting chance to do whatever I want to do, whenever I want to do it. So the reason I'm coming to you today is to share a little bit about myself. It's hard. It's hard to be vulnerable to people and not even know who's going to watch this. It's hard to open yourselves up, but I'm telling you right now, if you can do that, if you can start something and at least get started, then you can do whatever you want to. Starting is always going to be the hardest thing. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to get pushed around. You're going to get spit on. You're going to get kicked on, figuratively, hopefully not literally, but it's going to happen. Now, you have a couple of options. You'll always have options. You may not even like the options, but you're always going to have options. You can pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep pushing again. Or you can sit there and dwell and feel sorry for yourself. Now, you can do both. I did feel sorry for myself. And there are times I fall back into it and I feel sorry for myself. And then I have to just kind of breathe a little bit and realize there are people out there that wish they had the opportunity to go through this stuff, but their adversities are so overwhelming that even if they wanted to, sometimes they couldn't. You have a gift. You have the gift to keep on pushing. You have that discipline if you want it badly enough. It can be learned. It can be a habit, but you've got to start somewhere. So whether you're starting for the first of the month, whether you're starting for next month, whatever, quit putting it off. Just start something. Do something today that you didn't do yesterday that's going to improve something. Just think something today better. Just tell yourself, I can do this. Just change, boom, just like that. And it doesn't have to flip a switch just at that moment, but it's got to start somewhere. Write something down that you think positively about yourself. There is enough pollution out there in the world that's out there in social media. There's enough pollution that's out there negatively all around the world, the country. There's a lot of bad things happening out there. So don't think something bad, think something positive, because you've got enough negative stuff out there. So I'm coming to you to let you understand that I'm going to keep fighting. Now, if you want to join on that, let me know. We can fight together. If you want to just tell me some good things and you want to write some stuff down below and you need some encouragement, let me know. Whatever it is, you can let me know. You can email me at jesse@jbhit.com if you need something. If you want to try one of my classes, they're for free. So the first one is for free. All right, you can try that out. See what you think. There's video on demand of all the classes I record that I have, so you can just go at your own time. It's whatever you want. Just go for something. Try something outside of your comfort zone. This is way outside of my comfort zone of just talking into a camera over and over again. So if I can do it, you can do it. I'm not any better than you. Right? We can do all this together, but you've got to start somewhere. So let me know. If you like what I've got, tell me more of what I can do for you. If you don't like it, tell me what I can give to you that will help you in your journey. If you like the stuff that I have, subscribe and keep on watching, and we'll do this journey together. But you got to start somewhere. And whether you start today, tomorrow, I just hope that you start sometime. So let me know how I can help you. Let me know what I can do to help you. And if it's just talking to you and kind of going through this journey with you through these videos, then subscribe and keep doing it with me. Otherwise, I wish you the best of luck in whatever path that you take. But if I can help you, let me know and we'll go from there. Have a good rest of your day. And I'll talk to you soon.